Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a lovely Tuesday afternoon here from the nation's capital, Abuja. And we're here once again on the Money Radio to talk about agric, food and agriculture on the agribusiness segment of the show. It's an exciting day because today is extra exciting because Dr. John Bokwe is here in the studio, and quite a whole lot will be revealed today, and we're going to talk about a whole lot of things that will impact greatly on the agricultural sector. My name is Adadu Ote, of course, and I'm your host on this show today. And stay tuned with us as we journey through another dimension of information as it relates to the agricultural sector. Dr. John, welcome to the Leadership Podcast Studio.
Thank you very much.
So how is your day going today?
Oh, well, I just ate one egg before I came here.
Okay,
Fine.
okay. Well, that's another approach to it. Well, since he has mentioned egg, I will go right away to drop the topic. Of course, it is of note that egg is one of the major consumed source of protein in Nigeria. But not many people understand the value of egg. And today we are going to spend the rest few minutes with you on this podcast to elaborate on the value of egg in Nigeria. And of course, by extension, in Africa as well. So stay tuned with us as we dissect through this topic and share more insight with you as it relates to the egg. So Dr. John Mbokwe, welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
To the studio, the Leadership Podcast Studio. Today is an exciting day, like I said earlier. You just mentioned that you've had an egg before coming in here today.
Of course, it's a daily routine. It's something I do daily.
Can you bring us up to speed? What is the actual value of egg?
Well, when you want to talk about egg,
Because some people will just say, is it not egg? The one that in the shy will just say.
we look at it as very small commodity. But as small as it is, it's something I call the superfood.
The superfood.
Something I call the superfood.
The tiny, small,
very small as
egg.
it is. Yes. Something that can bring out the whole life. It should be valued. As much as you value life, it's as much as egg should be valued. It contains everything that is required to bring out a new life. And we are living life.
This tiny, small looking egg, once again.
So if you look at it, you see that if you want to relate it in the health benefits of eggs. It means we can't exhaust the topic in continuous speech in 1 hour, in the whole 24 hours. We can't even exhaust it. But let me pick some few points to elaborate. When you look at the availability of eggs, everywhere, there are eggs everywhere. There's no country
where you cannot find eggs.
Yeah. Even as small as
So
any community.
egg has no nationality, and egg tastes the same way an egg would taste in UK, the same way it tastes in Brazil. Egg is egg in London, egg is egg in Jamaica, egg is egg in Nigeria.
Same. So if you look at the availability, you see that whether you are poor or you are said to be rich, egg is available to you. So it's an advantage.
It's available and to you, or to selected few, or
not selected to everybody. To me, I feel egg is the most affordable source of protein and source of other nutrients required for living. So it's not something someone should joke about. In fact, if I'm to say, even the government should empower the use of egg as something for, for the national.
Would that lead to extra scarcity? Because I mean, for now, with the kind of consumption we have already in the system, people are egg is already being consumed very widely.
Yeah, but anyway, however, let's look at the health benefits.
The health benefits
of eating egg. In my recommendation, and I think it is a generally accepted recommendation for someone to eat an egg per day. Someone will come and ask me, Dr. John, you have been preaching.
So, but people can say maybe because you're a veterinary doctor.
No.
It's your profession, it's within your profession. So you are saying this to promote the cause of your
no.
It's not professional practice.
It's not that at all. I have to be very frank. Egg, in as much as it contains cholesterol, there are two different forms of cholesterol. Somebody was asking me, you said we should be eating egg on daily basis. What about the cholesterol content? I said, no. We have the good and the bad cholesterol. The good cholesterol is the high density lipoprotein cholesterol. Then the low lipoprotein is the bad cholesterol. But egg contains
a healthy fat.
Good. The cholesterol it contains is the good cholesterol. So it doesn't affect the blood level of cholesterol. Unless maybe
as a matter of fact, I've seen people recommend egg to replace other source of protein for weight loss.
It's done because of the type of cholesterol it contains. So it's something you need to really take note of. Many people don't know. And another very important aspect, it is recommended for both the young and the old.
Same egg, tiny looking egg.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
For the young and the old.
You know why I'm so excited? Because as a farmer myself, as an egg producer myself, it's really good that our listeners and people who are watching this podcast so understand how important this tiny piece of nature's gift to humanity, is to us. Continue.
So, the content of choline.
Choline. Is that supposed to be a complex English that I need to understand?
It's not a complex
because
English. Many people misquote it because it's a substance. It's a substance.
In the egg.
It's a nutrient.
Oh, it's a nutrient in the egg.
But many people don't know. And there are other things like vitamin E and selenium. This is recommended for freshness. When you are eating egg, can you see my body?
Whoa, okay.
Can you see my body? I make it a routine
habit
and a habit. In fact, I'm addicted to egg, 1 egg per day. Sorry to say the addiction.
No, it's a healthy addiction, so it's fine. It's fine.
So it's something that everybody needs to adapt. If you are eating egg on daily basis, it increases your choline level, your vitamin E level, the selenium level, which is very essential. Not only the modern foods we eat now. Everybody wants to eat shawarma. Everybody wants to eat, So the modern
and the beauty of egg is you can actually eat egg without adding any other extra thing.
No.
And you'll be fine.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
You'll be fine.
Just boil your egg and eat. You can say to fry your egg and eat. But the modern foods, there are so many
spice, other ingredients,
a lot of things in it. But some ingredients that are some nutrients that are very, very essential are not there. So what egg can give it to you? Very simple. And
so in other words, there could be a bowl of food before you that may not have almost the kind of a balanced nutrient that one egg can have. Oh, that's a wasted food. I mean, the food is it's really good to know.
Let me shock my listeners. If you come to my house, the first thing I'll offer you is an egg. That is my own cola. In fact, it's a rule in my house. So why am I saying this? I want people to really understand
the value of an egg.
And as much as it contains, in my analysis, as at yesterday, when I analyze weekly value of egg in terms of relative to the price of egg. So the price of an egg from the farm, relatively 62 naira.
62 naira.
62 naira from the farm gate.
But when it gets to
the market, you can get it
like
at probably 100 naira.
90
naira.
In Abuja, at least.
Yeah, in Abuja.
From Abuja.
So it is important so that people can look at how affordable
this egg,
this little commodity is. Very, very, very affordable. There's nobody that will tell me that he doesn't, he can't get 100 naira to pick an egg to eat per day. It's important.
Wow.
Looking at the health benefits
of
eating egg.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Wow. So you can from this whole scenario of the egg being so having so much health benefit, how is it that people are not still taking the consumption of egg seriously, or maybe they consume it in a very wrong way, or they preserve it in a very wrong
no, information they say is power. I expect everybody and every of our listeners, as from now, to get informed. People who have been neglecting the importance of egg, they are not informed. I guess so, and it's an act of negligence, as far as I'm concerned. So I think people should get to know that egg should be valued even more than any other thing, except water.
Egg should be valued even more than any other thing, except water. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very crucial, and they should make it a daily dietary habit to eat an egg per day. Let me shock you. Do you know that the egg you are looking at, as small as it is, one can survive by eating one egg per day for 1 year,
and you will not be malnourished.
Nothing
will not look funny.
Nothing
will
will
not look maybe when you eat as against when you are eating, let's say for instance you are eating 2 masara a day with egg is not the story.
With an egg per day, you may not need any other thing.
That's good to know.
So it's important that people know that egg is an essential commodity. As I said earlier, it is a super food for life.
Wow. At this point, we will go on a quick short break and we'll come back and still discuss about the value of the egg. Like I said earlier, like he mentioned earlier, the egg is a super food. And then when we return shortly, we'll dissect more and deeper into the world of egg so that as many of our listeners or people who are watching this podcast will understand and value the egg and its content more. Stay tuned to the agribusiness segment of the Money Radio. My name is Adado Ote. We'll return shortly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back to the agribusiness segment of the Money Radio Show. My name is Adado Ote, your Agro-Teller King, here on this live podcast, reaching you from the stable of the Leadership Newspaper podcast studio. And of course, today we're talking about the value of the egg in Nigeria. And we've talked so much about the egg. And right now, Dr. John will help us to talk about how do we produce, how is this egg generally produced? Is it dropping? Are we baking it? How does it work?
Well, it's a natural process and it's something that every person can produce. It doesn't need any form of tertiary.
When you mean every person, do you mean that
Any layman, anybody can produce.
human beings can lay eggs too? Let's establish that. Yeah.
No. I mean, everybody at your convenience
And space.
and at your space, you can produce. No matter the little quantity, even if it's producing 1 egg per day, it's okay. At your little convenience. But if you can't produce, you can buy. But very simple, how to produce an egg.
Okay.
Egg comes from chicken.
Chicken.
Yes, when you talk about commercial egg for consumption, it comes from chicken. But there are different forms of birds
That can produce,
egg. You have the quail egg.
Quail eggs. Okay.
We have the commercial layer egg. Even the broilers.
When you keep them for too long,
yeah,
they start laying white eggs.
But when you talk of the commercial benefit,
value,
it's
low.
not economical. But actually, when you talk of commercial
Egg
the
production.
one you will see around,
The brown-looking ones, popular in Nigeria, and sometimes the white-looking eggs.
Yes, they come from what we call the commercial layers. And commercial layers, it's
So these
very
are
easy.
These are beds, commercial layers. They are beds. Help us understand when you mean
Okay,
commercial
when
layers.
I mean commercial layers,
Because for some people may not understand the commercial layers. You mentioned there.
Commercial layers, they are different from the local chicken we see around. They are different from the broilers we see around. They are specially made. Their genetic design is for production of egg using minute and little nutrients. So it can be profitable. So someone can go into farming business for production of egg as a business. Someone can also be producing egg for family use using the commercial layers.
Eggs.
So the commercial layers can be gotten from any part of the country. It's not something.
So are there types that survive in Nigeria?
Yeah, there are types of, but
is the same one in Brazil or in London, or the same with what we can produce here in Nigeria?
Yeah, because of certain weather conditions and environmental factors, certain layers are preferred in certain regions
of the world.
So, but in Nigeria, I think the most popular is
Isa Brown.
Yes, the Isa Brown pellets.
Okay.
And then the Loman Brown.
And then there are other ones too.
There are Nera Blacks. There are a lot of Noilas, Coriolized. There are a lot of them. But when you talk about
predominant in Nigeria at the moment, Isa Brown
really strive well in our environment.
And deal with the harsh weather and other conditions that come with the environment.
Isa Brown is leading layers you can have. But to produce egg, you won't have the layer itself.
The layer chicken.
Yeah, the layer chicken. If you like, you can get a quail. If you like, you can get the commercial layer. If you like, even the local chicken can give you an egg.
But what I want to find out what is in the local chicken, because you hear some people say one is organic, one is non-organic. Please, can you balance this two perception that people have?
The commercial layers, they require, they can even strive even when you put them on free range. But most at times, they are confined in an environment and given special attention and special food for them to produce egg. The local chicken, they strive around, scavenge for food anyhow, and then they tend to get more immunity and some other, the egg is more, the egg is somewhat classified in the terms they use as organic because they don't take drugs most of the times, they don't take some other supplements most of the times, and they still strive. So it means they are striving on their natural immunity, and they are taking, natural.
But that do not make them more organic or more healthy.
It doesn't make their egg more super than other eggs.
Okay. Because it's important that we mention this. Some people will tell you, the local chicken, the egg is different. It's this, it's that.
The taste may be different
by virtue of what they eat.
of what the content and value of the egg is. It is not far-fetched from what
the other one,
the commercial layer can give you.
Okay, right.
So to produce it is very simple. Get yourself either a day-old layer. You can train them from day-old to come up to production. There are a lot of techniques involved
which we cannot even exhaust in the studio.
It's not something we can do.
Very technical.
Yeah, it's a technical process, and it requires keen attention unless you don't want to really get profit in it. And it's something that if you start doing at the family level, it can even expand to commercial level. You can start selling eggs and making life end meet, So if you can get a day-old layer, some people prefer to use what in quote they call point of lay. That's already rare. There, somebody has
raise them from the chicks.
The risk to raise them from the chicks
when they're tiny and small.
So you can pick that
So like
point.
12 weeks or 14 weeks.
12 weeks, 14 weeks. Eggs, the production of eggs from a layer, a commercial layer, starts at the input age of 18 to 19 weeks.
18 to 19 weeks.
Where the bird is expected to be at least about 1.5 kilogram. So at that weight, they can produce. So some people would like to sell the point of maybe 12 weeks expected to be 1 kg. You pick at that point. If you don't have the capacity to brood from day on, you can keep in your
at the
backyard.
point of lay, and then you keep them for
and
production.
Keep feeding them. There's a standard. It's not what we. There are a lot of things to talk about.
I understand. I understand.
So, but I'm just giving a general overview
sketch,
of what is obtainable from egg production. Let me drag you back a bit.
Okay, just a minute, just before you take that point. So, and for as many of our listeners or people watching this podcast, please feel free to share, send in your questions and answers while we're having this conversation, so that we can respond to it before we sign out of the studio. So, if you have any question, feel free to send them in on the channels, and then we will respond to it live while we're having this conversation. Thank you. So, Dr. John, bring us up to speed.
Let me go back to what I said earlier. Let me elaborate something there so that our listeners can have a broader knowledge of what we're talking about. Why I said we should eat an egg per day. The type of food we eat these days, it undergoes a lot of processing. But egg doesn't require
minimal processing.
A lot of processing.
In fact, if you're even frying an egg, it doesn't take. You just need to take it and then you have your
very quick. Very quick. So it's important to know that processing, takes away a lot of nutrients. So, but if you talk of egg,
so even when we cook egg,
when you cook egg,
the nutrient do not go.
Yeah, it doesn't go. The only thing that leaves the egg when you cook the egg is vitamin C, because vitamin C doesn't like heat at all. It's not.
So do you recommend we should just drink it like anyway? Depends on
that's a topic for another day, because you want to talk about the different forms of eggs to be consumed and its health benefits. It's a broad topic.
Okay.
My time is tickling.
Yeah.
So, but let me talk about this. It's important to note egg processing will determine the amount of nutrients you are going to get from the egg. Yes. Taking the egg raw is wrong, because there are things you need to take away from the egg. Something like that. There's a chemical we call, a component we call avidin.
That may be present
in the raw egg. And consuming it in excess, it's very harmful to the body. So when we are talking about the benefits, let's look at some hazards that are attached to it, so that you know how to go about it. So while cooking egg also, depending on how hygienic it was produced, some things may be in the egg in a form of lost. Yeah, in a form of disease, depending on how hygienic the handling was done during production. So if you eat it raw, you may be taking in the raw disease, which could be as a result of transmission from the layer to the egg. So it's important to boil
the egg or heat them.
Yes, but in general, the safety of eating egg is still very high compared to other
process of processing meal.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So as it is now in Nigeria, there's a whole lot. There's a huge scarcity when it comes to egg. There's under production of eggs.
Yes.
What will be your advice to farmers or people listening to watching this podcast who are still in business of producing eggs, who want to still stay on the profitable side of business?
I would advise, because of the scarcity is not far-fetched. It's because one, people are getting the knowledge and they are consuming egg the more. And many people don't want to go to the farm. They want a white collar job. I would advise every household should find a way, to, even if it's a backyard farming. When the president came to sit, he said people should go back to farm. That's a very great approach.
Proactive. Yeah.
Yes, it's a proactive talk. Because going back
We
to
need
farming,
to call him for family meeting.
Yes.
I think to an extent, we really cannot say, but to an extent, maybe when the administration is done, we'll be able to rate and see the total outputs within the administration, and then we can tell how far they have done, the impact of
the impact. But I'm just trying to harness. Yeah, there are a lot of things that has happened within the administration, but I'm harnessing where the impact is very in order. It's very key. You know, so going back to farming means it's a good advice for the Nigerians, because it means you are going to take away a level of food insecurity. But many persons didn't go back to the farm.
Yep.
So our advice, every household should think farming. No matter the business you are doing, think it as a source of
no matter
revenue.
little,
No matter how
somehow,
little that is coming from there.
because every household depends on food
There's
on a
no
daily
day,
basis.
there's no day you will not eat food. So it's very important and very key for everybody to find a way to be producing something, no matter how small. Don't just be a consumer without producing something.
Produce something little.
Something little, even if it is not egg, whatever you can produce as a farm product
in your small
within your
space.
small space is important.
So you hear that big advice from Dr. Johnny. So how do we now? How can farmers actually produce egg and make some profit in this season?
That's very simple. It's very simple. It's by simple efficiency. You know,
Of management
efficiency
of the chicken,
Yes.
of the layers.
You know, I always tell some farmers that when one layer dies, I don't always look at the layer. I'm looking at the value of the layer,
Eggs
of
that
the
may be
number of
within it.
the number of eggs that have died. One layer in a cycle can give you up to 300 eggs. 300 eggs
Did you hear
in
that?
a cycle in 1 year. And for the chicken to die at the beginning of the year, it means you have lost 300 eggs. And if you value 300 eggs, that means 10 crates of egg. And that's about almost 20,000 naira. So that is what I'm looking at.
So you can't throw away 20,000 naira
Just like
easily.
that. So if farmers should understand that, if one chicken die, a lot of money have gone, they will find a way to manage it well. So management efficiency is one of the key to reduce losses in the farming. And also, you know, I'm sorry to say this, a lot of staff have turned farming business into something else. I saw one video going around the social media where some farm workers were pulling a lot of eggs.
Yes, from I saw it. Some had it tied to their waist.
Yeah.
They had something in between and they were just dropping it.
How can such a
And
farmer?
it was endless. The eggs were just coming out like 2 crates. Was not, and they were moving very normal, like they are okay.
So I don't think in a farm where pilfering and stealing is on the high side, the farmer will not be seeing the business as profitable. Because a lot of profits are going on daily basics to theft. So I would advise anyway, production of egg profitably has to do with efficiency. Efficiency in production, efficiency in farm security, efficiency in farm workers, monitoring. You need to monitor a lot of things for you to be profitable. Not when you have left the primary assignment and the primary things for you to be done to increase the efficiency of your production. And then you are looking at the price is low, meanwhile, where you're supposed to gain the profit, you are not looking into it. So when the market, if the purchasing power of the community is very low.
Yes, so just a minute, we have a question. It said, elsewhere, we learned eggs aren't good for people above 40. How true is this claim, sir?
Sir, the claim is very wrong.
Very wrong. So you're getting this from a certified veterinary doctor, right?
Yes, the claims very wrong. Because why people are saying that is because, I said it earlier, it's because of cholesterol.
That is from Benny, right? That's from Benny.
Yeah. It's because of cholesterol. And like I said, egg contains the high lipoprotein cholesterol, which is the good cholesterol, and it doesn't in any way, increase the blood level of cholesterol. So it is good. That is the only thing we
It is good and safe. So, Benny, I hope you get that clearly.
Yes, it's good and safe.
healthy. Safe. Yeah.
In fact, when COVID-19 was ravaging the world, egg was one of the
Most recommended.
And
source of protein.
remember, people that are most predisposed to COVID-19 are people above 40.
Above 40.
I want to look at what
the elderly.
Yeah, the elderly. They are people that are most predisposed. Therefore, the egg has a link to improving immunity. That is why it is recommended. So I disagree with eggs that eggs are not good for people above 40.
We know that yes, there's a body of knowledge people are sharing within various spaces, the internet and other channels. But it's advisable that people verify some of this content and also see with your local doctor to see, because somebody could be making recommendation far away in Bosnia, Russia, wherever, and then there's a whole lot we are dealing with here. That lifestyle is another issue you need to look at.
Thank you. There are a lot of things when you talk about general about people that are above 40. There are some diseases that are acquired. There are some diseases that are genetic. So people who are genetically,
prone to certain
diseases, that is an exception. But when you want to generalize
to the general public or consumers,
I tell you, hey.
By the way, what's this? Let people live their life generally. You're above 40 and you want to be free. It's up to you and your doctor.
It was an old perception,
But I think it's changing now because there's been body of a lot of research
has taken place
and things that are proving that to be wrong in reality.
Yes.
So, Dr. John, what should be your concluding remarks to people who are watching us? To farmers who want to go into this line of investment, who want to take advantage of the opportunity in the egg value chain, how can you advise them?
Well, my humble advice: one, make sure you eat an egg.
Make sure you eat an egg
on
a daily basis.
You eat an egg daily. Two, produce something and produce an egg if possible. If you can produce an egg, buy an egg. Three, for those of us who want to venture into the farming business and you want to do poultry farming and exclusively egg production, seek advice from good professional.
Advice.
Good professional.
Good professional. So there's a bad professional advice.
Thank you. Let me tell you, there are some things, I call it some professional blindness or is specific. No, don't do that. If you want to get advice, get good professional advice.
Dr. John, I totally understand what you said. There are professionals who are not
into
exposed or knowledgeable in a segment of the market.
It's not as if the person is not a professional, but specificity matters a lot. The area of specialization is another issue. So when I said good professional advice, you may see, this person is a veterinary doctor. Let me go and seek advice.
But he's dealing with dogs.
Dealing with another different.
He's dealing with dogs or horse.
Yeah, it's not as if every veterinary.
So when you give them chicken, they may not manage them very well.
Just like me, just like if you give me a horse, I am a veterinary doctor, specialized in poultry production and management. If you give me a horse, I may kill it because I'm not too knowledgeable. Yeah. I'm not shy to say it. I'm very knowledgeable in poultry and its management, but I'm not very knowledgeable in horse management. So I can't go and start treating a horse. So somebody coming to seek advice from me for his horse is making a mistake. That's what I'm concerned.
Fantastic. And I hope you get that, and I hope our listeners too understand all of this. Dr. John, we have to do this again and again. We don't have really much time to dissect, but I'm sure over time we'll still talk about other segments of the poultry, another segment of the chicken egg, because the egg is so huge. So at this end, we come to the end of the show today. My name is Adadu Ute, and I'm your host today. And of course, we hope to do the same time, same station next week. A big thanks to Dr. John, the producer, and every other team who have made this possible. Thank you, and let's hook up again, same time, same channel. and then let's talk about agriculture again. Make sure you eat something from the farm, from the agric, and from every segment that you can. Patronize a farmer this whole week and beyond. Thank you, and do have a lovely week ahead.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080